power-clad muscle launching rocket tails in a tall woman's boots. Cool hair the color of fun and a full kit loaded for bear. The only thing missing is a cigarette, but that's good because those are bad. Jamie Arantes gives no quarter in the futuristic universe of Infinity, the game! Well, alright. Greetings, Chromatic Warriors. Oh, me? They call me Mr. 5 because I love a lot of things. I like big muscles, strong women, power armor, long hair, heavy metal. The list is 5 miles long. If that list was... Yeah, if that list was a Venn diagram, Jamie Arantes would wind up somewhere near the bullseye of all those cool elements. Standing impressively tall for the scale of the game and also having cool hair, as I mentioned. Honestly, she reminds me of some of my friends. So I had to paint her. If I had friends. And what's more, my friend John has been developing a deck of cards, but not just for any game, no, this one is for the mind, the deck of many colors. At the Nova Open, he was kind enough to gift me a slice of these, and I decided to put these color schemes up to a vote for patrons on Patreon. I also had them vote on which model, could choose between Jamie Arantes or the Krakot Renegade, new release. And yeah, after contabulating all the numbers, my mission was clear. Now, first of all, I'd like to find a home for these colors, kind of testing out the palette and seeing just what fits where. I laid down some base coats on Jamie, and in this way I can make changes before devoting too much time. In careful consideration, harmony was found. Hydra Turquoise for the armor. The base was conjured up from a wet blend of Dusty Skull and black, Templegate Teal with black for the weaponry, a little bit of burnt turf on the weapon as well, and Patagon Pine pads. I'll use other colors to modify these tones, but yeah, taking from the designations on the card, I found places for everything. Everything. Whoever said he's going to wet blend the base next, you were right. Wet blend Hydra Turquoise and Imperial Navy together, working from the inside out and or the most dominant color. Let's create a better armor. Be sure to be gradually descending into shadow, including more of my Imperial Navy purplish tone as the eye leads downwards towards the heels. And also, other things that bother me, and before it bothers me too much, the face needs a base coat. I'll lay down some dried brown, and I'll coat the hair with burnt turf. I like to save the face for last, but checking it and the general feeling with the other colors is a wise practice. Be very wise. Yes, like I said, I'm going to use some colors that are outside of the rules on the card, you know, I'm not insane.
You're a good guy, Sam!
Thanks, Jamie. Can you help me highlight your guns with Templegate Teal? It's quickly becoming one of my favorites when I'm highlighting sci-fi weaponry, and I never knew that I would have a favorite for that. But, you know, every day of life is brand new, fresh for discoveries. Highlight further still with Patagon Pine, pulling in a seafoam green and a sharp take of it. Hard sci-fi demands strict lines and unwavering blends for the most invulnerable shell of acrylic. You're doing so well. As a spot color, the yellow cubits will be sorted out with Sunburst, Ochre, and Burnt Turf. Nesting a warm accent color among the homogeneous aquatic tones is a sporty look, like the huffy bikes of the past, a future yet unseen. And now Space Dust highlights will corner off those pieces of cake. Space Dust rules as a color, and everyone should own it. There, I said it. What a better version of the tone Ice Yellow. Of course, Ice Yellow is still used in my studio. I'm not insane, but many times I find that Space Dust gives me that warming lift I want without desaturating the mixture.
It's all about subtleties!
Jamie. While I'm there, I will also attend the hair. She's blonde. I'm going to use the same tones as the yellowed weapon bits, but also Angelic Red, lifted with burning ore, and space dust highlights. I can't resist a split pattern dye job with a hairdo like that. There's a sort of punky tank girl impression I get from this model and her artwork. I'm going with it. Oh, back to the blast pads. I'm going to call them that. Wet blend Templegate Teal and Patagon Pine to establish some volume. I'll work to keep the front of the shin slightly deeper than the diagonal portions on the top of the foot. Subtle touches reward the viewer. Be subtle. Now I want to go at the face and switch the skin tone a little bit. I felt it was just a little too deep and dead for my likings. I want a warmer reddish brown. So I switched it over to Tree Ancient for my foundational coat. Following that though, you can highlight with Fur Brown, keeping this placement relatively broad but aiming at the facial chunks. Cheek, nose, chin, forehead, each with a little drift into shadow. It's important to worship the midtones when you're first establishing the volume of a shape. Next, use Ruddy Umber from the dedicated range of flesh tones for the next highlight. I guess I can use a prescribed flesh tone. I just don't care for rules and homework when I'm hanging out with Jamie. Finally, ooh, Space Dust. I love this color, but it's laid in very thin touches, and repeat this as necessary to build saturation slowly and smoothly. I want that feminine skin. Jamie moisturizes before battle. And now for a little bit of makeup. Just think, I could do this to you. The Templegate Teal will be the foundation, and then the makeup will be lightened gradually with Space Dust, just slowly and softly brightening things up. Mix and match accordingly, but just working to a near mixture of Space Dust, and that'll get it done. I also want to add some blush with Dragon Red. This will be built gradually in diluted layers, again, working very softly for a woman's face. And speaking of unification, have you considered pressing the like and or subscribe button? You could do a double whammy. You could check the links down below, a triple whammy, and if you're tired of hitting balls, well, why don't you open your mind and consider acquiring your own set of Jonnycards. As a teacher, I want these in every class. They have a certain gourmet panache as well as utility. I can think of so many ways they can be put to use. And as a brain trying to improve itself, I want these gorgeous props to feed me with unconsidered colors as well as images. You never know where the inspiration may come from, and a variety of sources I find is the most healthy route to be pulling at.
These cards brought me to life!
Jamie! Okay, let's finish it. From the bottom to the top, Black and Dusty Skull were car crashed together on the base, leading forward where the action is. This creates a sense of momentum, and in the streets, momentum is the only difference between being dead or alive. Damn! For the blast pads, I need them to be a little more crisp, so I'll highlight up with Patagon Pine at first, and then maybe put a little touch of white in there. I don't know. I'm just going to look back at it and balance things out. Preview the future that may never come. That's an idea. Oh, hey, and slay the gray on the black undersuit. I'm going to have a warmer take, and I feel like it unifies it to the base a little bit better if I conjure my gray from mixing black and Dusty Skull together. But that is what I'm going to use to take care of the undersuit and all the web gear. Ooh, main course. Raise the armor with the lines of 1,000 grids. Using Hydra Turquoise and mixing it up with Space Dust, I began blending the shit out of the model. Here and there, I even went so crazy as to line and shade with Trimuphant Navy. Edging and lines. No better combination.
You can't say that!
And finally, a few touches of white in the upper area. Think of this like pulling the bust out of a model. It adds to the gradual escalation in brightness as the eye moves from the feet to the face, a gradual descent into shades as a natural person under the natural light. I wish I hadn't stuttered there, but I did. Ah, and one more thing. Those blast pads need some camo. I played with a few ideas. Leopard print, numbers, pinstripes, and in the end, small pieces of camo on an armored model seemed an ironic choice. And I love comedy. That's it. It's over for now. Give me a 360. I want to return to the world of Infinity. I'm an artist in this first, but the games motivate creative ideas. I used to play Infinity and always enjoyed that game, so I'd like to return. Even if I only play a handful of games, I'll be painting something different, and these canvases inspire experiments. It's a different kind of sci-fi than I'm used to working on. It reminds me more of Ghost in the Shell for starters, and it goes on from there. And infinitely? Huh? Okay. Please let me know how you feel in the comments section down below. I'm always happy to hear from you. Yeah, and until we meet again, my friends, maybe out on the road while I'm teaching, remain unchained.